The pregnancy test wasn't mine. That much was obvious. I found it shoved in the master bathroom trash, hidden beneath a crumpled pile of tissues and an empty shampoo bottle. Two solid pink lines, positive. Clear as day, my hands froze when I pulled it out. For a second, I just stared, trying to wrap my head around the fact that Mallory hadn't said a damn word to me. We weren't trying for a baby. She'd been dodging intimacy for months, headaches, late nights at work. I need space. Every excuse in the book. Now there it was. Proof. Not just of a pregnancy, but of something much darker. Fury and disbelief tightened my chest until I couldn't breathe. I knew Mallory. She didn't make mistakes. She was calculating. Always 3 steps ahead. If she'd let this slip, it meant she either thought I wouldn't find it, or she was arrogant enough to believe I wouldn't put the pieces together. I didn't confront her. That would have been too easy. Mallory was a master manipulator. If I came at her with only suspicion, she would twist it until I was the one apologizing. I wasn't giving her that satisfaction. I put the test back exactly where I'd found it. I rearranged the trash so it looked untouched. Then I walked out of the bathroom like nothing had happened, even though my world had flipped upside down. I sat at the kitchen table, pretending to scroll through my phone. My hands were still shaking. I listened for her footsteps upstairs. When she finally came down, hair damp from the shower, she didn't even glance at me. She poured coffee and scrolled Instagram like she didn't have a care in the world. She had the audacity to act normal, to act like I hadn't just stumbled onto the most damning evidence of betrayal. I wanted to scream, to throw her mug across the room and demand answers. But I didn't, not yet. Instead, I smiled, calm as a saint, and said, "You look like you slept well. Long day at work today?" Mallory glanced up, expression unreadable, then shrugged. Same old, meetings, deadlines. Casual, effortless. Her tone made my stomach drop. She wasn't just lying. She was good at it. If she thought I was oblivious, she was wrong. I was going to find out exactly what she was hiding, and when I did, she'd regret underestimating me. That night, I lay awake listening to her even breathing beside me. I wanted to believe there was an innocent explanation. Deep down, I already knew better. By morning, I had a plan. Start small, observe, look for inconsistencies. Let her think she was in control. People like Mallory get careless when they think they've already won. Breakfast was performance. She kissed my cheek. A sick little show meant to keep up appearances. I played my part. 2 smiles, polite laughs, while watching her every move. She clutched her phone like it was glued to her hand. Normally it sat on the counter. Not today. She even took it into the bathroom for long stretches. "Everything okay?" I asked casually when she came out for the 3rd time that morning. "You've been in there a lot." Mallory froze for half a second, long enough to register the question, then recovered with a laugh. "Yeah, stomach issues. Probably that sushi we had the other night. We hadn't eaten sushi in weeks." I smiled and nodded, pretending to buy it. Inside, my resolve hardened. If she lied about something that small, what else was she hiding? Later, while she was at work, I dug deeper. I wasn't usually the snooping type, but this was different. This was self-preservation. I started with the trash. I hated myself for doing it, but I needed answers. Sure enough, I found another clue, a crumpled receipt from a boutique in the next town. Dated 2 days ago. Luxury candles, silk lingerie, a men's cologne. Not for me. That was obvious. For who, then? The pregnancy test, the unexplained purchases, the late nights. They formed a pattern I didn't want to admit. That evening, we sat on the couch watching a mindless reality show. I casually asked, "So who's the cologne for?" Mallory's head snapped toward me. Confusion flickered into panic. "What are you talking about?" I held up the receipt. "This from Tuesday." Her mask slipped. For a second, she looked about to say something, then laughed like I'd made a stupid joke. "Oh, that's for my boss. His birthday?" The team pitched in. Quick, believable, vague. Too convenient. Not good enough. "Nice of you to take the lead on that," I said, smiling. She relaxed. She had no idea I was on to her. That wasn't enough anymore. This wasn't about catching her. It was about ensuring she couldn't slither out when the truth came out. The next morning after she left for work, I followed her. Her late nights at the office had been too frequent. I wanted to see where she really went. She drove downtown, but then took an unexpected turn into a quaint cafe on the edge of town. She was dressed far too nice for a coffee run. A fitted dress, heels. Within minutes, a man joined her. Tall, business casual. Easy confidence. They sat close, laughing, leaning into each other. Her face lit up in a way I hadn't seen in months. Part of me wanted to storm in, flip the table, demand answers. Instead, I kept my distance and took photos. My hands shook as I zoomed in, capturing their little rendezvous. They stayed over an hour. When they left, he brushed a strand of hair from her face and kissed her cheek. She didn't pull away. She lingered, smiling up at him like he was her world. I felt sick, furious, betrayed, but losing my cool wouldn't get the proof I needed. I drove home in silence, questions racing. Who was he? How long? How much longer did she think she'd keep me in the dark? That night I reviewed the photos. Each frame cut deeper. I couldn't sleep. I installed a small tracking app on her laptop. Mallory's passwords were laughably predictable. Within minutes, I had access to her email and calendar. I wasn't proud, but pride didn't matter. The truth did. Her inbox had messages from someone named Luke R. Playful Tone. Inside jokes, frequent meeting arrangements. Not just a colleague. The calendar was meticulous. And there it was. Friday, 3 p.m. Dr. Carlson. Prenatal checkup. Prenatal checkup. She hadn't just lied about being pregnant. She'd been managing it behind my back. This was my smoking gun. The one thing she couldn't twist or deny. But I still didn't confront her, not yet. I wanted everything to come down at once. I dug deeper. Luke's LinkedIn listed him as a senior consultant and married with kids. Perfect. That detail mattered. He had something to lose. If he thought he could waltz into my life and walk away unscathed, he was wrong. By Friday, I was ready. I parked across from the clinic and waited. Women came and went. At 2:58, Mallory's SUV pulled in. She looked nervous. Luke was waiting. They embraced, lingering. They walked inside together. I followed, not through the main entrance but around the back, slipping in through a propped delivery door. Down the hallway, I found a partially open door. Inside, they sat with a doctor. Mallory smiled, hand on her stomach. Luke nodded like a proud partner. My blood boiled. I recorded everything, every word, every gesture, undeniable evidence. I left before they noticed. In the car, I watched the footage. It was all there, proof. I had what I needed. That evening, Mallory came home smiling, carrying takeout like a picture-perfect wife. Your favorite, she chirped. I forced a smile. Thanks, Mel, she beamed, satisfied. She thought she still had me fooled. But I had already set the stage. Over dinner, I planted seeds, casual questions, light jokes, watching her overcompensate. The more relaxed she became, the more confident I felt about my next move. When dessert came, I leaned back and said, I've been thinking about our future. Her smile faltered, then returned. What brought that on? You've seemed distracted, I said. All those late nights. Networking meetings, trips out of town. All just work, huh? Her fork tightened. Ethan, what's with the third degree? Just curious, I said. You had that coffee meeting, that networking thing. She froze for a split second. Enough. I pulled out my phone and opened the clinic video. The thumbnail was enough. What the hell is that? She hissed. Oh, you know what it is, I said. I followed you. I saw the clinic. Luke, the prenatal visit. Busy, huh? Keep your voice down, she whispered, panic creeping in. Let me guess. I lowered my voice. You were going to pin the baby on me. Play happy family while sneaking off with Luke. Or was he going to stay in the shadows? She opened her mouth. Nothing came out. For the first time in months, she looked powerless. Here's the deal, I said, calm but steel-laced. I have photos, videos, emails. You have two options. Come clean right now and we figure out what happens next. Or I walk out and send everything to Luke's wife. What's it going to be? Her face twisted between fury and fear. You wouldn't dare, she whispered. Try me, I said, smiling. She searched for an escape that didn't exist. You don't know what you're doing, Ethan. This is my life. Funny, I said. I thought it was our life. I leaned closer. But clearly you've been building something else, she snapped. Yes, I've been seeing Luke, but it's not what you think. Not what I think? I laughed loudly enough to draw looks. I followed you to the clinic. You're having his child. What part of that am I misunderstanding? She went cold. Then with a kind of cruel clarity, she said it. He's different. He understands me. You're boring. Predictable. That knife twist hit harder than the evidence. She wasn't hiding to protect herself. She wanted to punish me. I stayed composed. So you're bored, I said. You chose excitement over the man who built a life with you. She tried to deflect. You've been distant, Ethan. You shut me out. I let it hang. Boring, predictable, fine, but you shut me out and plotted to make me raise another man's child. That's not a mistake. That's betrayal. She couldn't respond. There was no defense. I tapped the clinic recording and held it up. This goes straight to Luke's wife if you lie or try to spin this. Her defiance cracked. You wouldn't, she whispered. Try me, I said. You thought you could play me. You were wrong. She finally broke. Fine, yes, I've been seeing Luke, but no more lies, I cut in. Tell me everything. Then get out. Pack your things. Move in with him or wherever. This is my house. You're done here, she shouted. That's unreasonable. We can fix this. Fix this? I laughed coldly. You lied, cheated, and tried to trap me. There's no fixing that. She went upstairs to pack. I sat in the kitchen and watched her leave. I listened to heavy footsteps as she took the rest of her dignity with her. By morning, her car was gone. No goodbye, no note, just an empty house. I drafted an email to Luke's wife, Christine. I attached photos, the clinic video, and screenshots of flirty emails. No embellishment. Just facts. Let the evidence speak. I hit send. The fallout was immediate. Christine replied within an hour. Shocked, grateful, crushed. Then Luke called me. Panic in his voice. I was calm. Cleaning up a mess, he barked. You helped make it, I said. Stay away from me. Stay away from my life. Or everything goes public, he sputtered, then fell silent. The fight left his voice. He learned I wasn't the kind of man to back down. Days later, Christine said she was filing for divorce. Mallory tried to reach out once with a single text. Can we talk? I deleted it. There was nothing left to say. The house felt different, quiet, almost hollow. But that emptiness was better than the weight of lies. I started to rebuild. Guitar back out of the closet. Morning runs. Old friends, little things I'd let slip away. The betrayal left a scar, but it didn't define me. Through mutual acquaintances, I heard Mallory move to a different city. Luke's reputation took a hit at work. Their spark fizzled under guilt and exposure. If there's one lesson from this mess, it's this. Betrayal doesn't just break you. It can rebuild you, stronger, smarter, wiser. To anyone listening, wondering whether to stay in a toxic situation, hold your head high. Let those who betray you drown in their own mess. There's nothing more satisfying than watching them crumble while you rise.